We've seen different ways of creating list and tuple, and we talked about some similarities. Okay, like we've talked about some points about list and tuple, like they contain heterogeneous data elements. Insertion order will be preserved. Duplicate elements are allowed. Support both positive and negative indexes, and both slicing. So we talked about all these things in detail. Then we started talking about their differences. First point we talked about is mutability versus immutability. Okay, we talked about mutability versus immutability. We've seen that list is mutable, like it can be changed, but tuple is immutable, meaning cannot be changed. So we think that if we create a list, an object gets created, and if we add an element to that, it will add it to the same list. So the addresses will be same. So that way I can prove that the list is mutable because the list is changeable. It's not creating another object. But on the other hand, if we see that the tuple, then it is immutable. And we created a tuple like 1, 2, 3, and we try to change add 4 to it. It's allowed. Actually, it will not give an error because you cannot change it. But what instead it does is it creates another tuple which is a different address. That's why when I print the ID of tuple before and after, you will get the two different addresses. Okay. And also I show you one more example where you can prove that list is mutable and tuple is immutable. That if you create a list and you try to change the zeroth element, it's perfectly okay. But when you try to change in the tuple, you will get an error this time because you are forcing to change the element of a tuple. Here you are trying to append tuple, so that's perfectly okay. It will create another tuple for you. But if you try to change the element of the tuple, which is not allowed, you will be getting an error. So this also proves that tuple is immutable in nature. Okay, you cannot change the element of a tuple, same like strings. Then we also talk about space versus list versus tuple in space and time. And I told you that if frequent operation is insertion and deletion, then we'll go for list. And if frequent operation is retrieval, then we'll go for tuple because we cannot add and delete. And today we're going to talk about methods in detail, like what are the different methods we have in list and what are the different methods we have in tuple. Okay, that is what we're going to discuss. I hope it helped you. Nagaraja. Okay, that this is what we discuss in Saturday's session. Okay, let us go here and talk about this thing in detail. Okay, let's talk about. Let me just get selected with. Okay, so let's get started with now, and I'll be talking about methods from list methods. I can say list methods. Okay, so let us talk about what are the different methods we have in list now. Okay, so the first method I would like to talk about. Yeah, welcome Nakaraja. Please, from here, if you follow, there are two important things we'll be discussing today. One is methods we are discussing in detail, and one more topic we will be discussing called list comprehension, which will be very useful in programming. So let us talk about it. So let us talk about first methods in detail, and then we'll go and talk about the list comprehension topic. Okay, so first thing, I would like to talk about the methods from the list class. The first method I will be discussing here is called append method, a very, very useful method from the list class called append method. So let us talk about what is this append method is all about. So basically, append method takes one parameter, and when I call this append method, let's say for example, if I have x is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50, okay, comma 50. If I just say x dot append, as we know that these are the methods of list, so we have to call using that object. If I say x dot append 60, so what it will do is it will automatically add 60 to the list. So when I print x now, it will become 10, okay, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 60. So it will be appended to the end of the list. All the methods are very straightforward, guys. I don't think we need much time to understand these methods. They are very, very straightforward methods. Okay, so you see that append is very useful method. Whenever you wanted to create a list and append data to the end of the list every time, then we can make use of this append method. We can make use of this append method and say that, okay, add an element to this particular list. As you know that list is mutable, so perfectly okay, though it will add an element to the end of this particular list. We'll add the element to the particular end of the list. Let me show you practically now. I'll just go to my IDLE and I'll create a list directly here. Let's say x is equal to 10, comma 20, okay, comma 30, comma 40, comma 50. Okay, this is my list what I created now. When I say x dot append, it will always add to the end of the list. It will always add to the end of the list. Now when I print x, it prints me 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, which was original list now, but 60 has been added to the list, but not it's okay. So not exactly you should always add an integer value. You can add any type of value, like it can be, you know, that list is heterogeneous in nature, meaning it can have different elements. So you can add a string to it. You can add any object, guys. You can say x dot append hello. There's nothing wrong. You can say append hello, and perfectly hello will be appended to the end of the list. So when I print x, it gets appended hello to the end of the list. Any object you can pass it, an integer object, a string object, a float object, okay, or list again. You wanted to add anything, gets added to the end of the list actually. So simply it goes and append to a end of the list. Okay. So any questions regarding this append? Let us discuss all these methods and we'll see some examples on each so that we'll get some clarity about all of them. So very straightforward method called append method. Okay. Next thing I would like to talk about the next method here now. So let's talk about the next method called insert method. Let's talk about the next method called insert method. So like append, always append to the end of the list. Now you wanted to add to anywhere, so you can use this insert method, which takes two parameters. Now when I say x dot insert, and I want to insert 999 at second index, then you can give these two parameters to it. This is the index value and this is your value to be appended. So here you take an index value, okay, and the object which you wanted to append. So you can append to anywhere actually, as you seen that append as at the end of the list, but insert can add at the particular location. Insert will get added to the particular location. So I'm saying that second index, you please add 999. So that way the object 999 gets added to that particular index. Okay. Now let us get back here and see that can I use this insert method. So I can say x dot insert method, and I can say that at second index I would like to add 999. So as you can see here, the syntax says that it takes two parameters, the index and the object. Index and the object. So let me keep writing the syntax here so that you can understand. So append takes only one thing, one parameter called object. Insert takes two parameters. The first one is the index. The first one is index, and the second one is the object. Takes two parameters, index and the object. Now, so two what you pass is an index, and 999 or hello or whatever you wanted to add will be an object here. So that way it will be inserted at the second index. Now when I say I wanted to insert this 999 at the second place, it's perfectly okay, and you can see here at the second index, because this is zero index, this is first index, and this is second index. So at the second index it has been added 999. It has been added 999, and my list became 10, 20, 999, 30, 40, 50, and then 60, and then hello. Okay, let me check here. Is there any questions regarding these two methods, append and insert? Okay, yeah, thank you Rajshekhar, thank you Satyam, thank you Vishwajit, Abhishek, thank you Prashanti, thank you Nitin, yeah, thank you Aditi. No, I don't think so, Satyam. Is that any audio problem, guys? Like generally Satyam is facing regularly. Satyam, I think you need to check on your side as well. Okay, yeah, thank you guys. Okay, Raj, David says that it was there, but now it got rectified. Thank you, David. Okay, so that will be good, Satya. Okay, please check or use generally headphones will be good, like you will not have any disturbance and all. Okay, generally one thing is very clear, like Zoom has no issue of audio, and second thing is I have the environment where very rarely you will find some background sounds and all because it's a separate room and separate area for especially for training. I used to use it, so I cannot say like it's soundproof or something, but generally I'll pack everything so that will not get much sound and disturbance. Okay, thank you, Satyam. But please, that's what we wanted to see, that if anything like it's issue with everyone, will inform to our team people. They'll fix it if they have any issue with sound or any quality wise and everything. So that's okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Satyam. So let's get continued, and these are the two methods we discussed from the list class. Okay, next method I will be talking about like removing the data from the list. To remove the data from the list, we have a couple of methods here. So let us talk about them. So we have first method called remove method. We have first method called remove method, which will take the object to be removed. It will take the object value and it will remove that value from that particular list. Now I just added 999. I wanted to remove it, so I can simply write x dot remove, x dot remove, and I can say that I wanted to remove 999 now. I wanted to remove 999. So what I can do is I can simply go here and say x dot remove. Okay, x dot remove, and I can say that I wanted to remove 999 from here now. So when I press enter, then what happens, that 999 will be removed from that. So previously you've seen that there was a 999, but it has been removed. Okay, so you can give any object, that particular object will be removed, and it will simply give you the list after removing. So very useful method, because you see, you keep adding, you keep inserting the data, you keep removing the data from the list, then easily you can perform using these methods. You can perform using these methods very easily. That you can add element, you can insert element at the position, you can remove the element. Okay, you can do all this stuff very easily using these methods now. We also have a couple of more methods in the one where you can remove it. The next method we can discuss here, the fourth method we can discuss here, is the pop method. Okay, is the pop method. So pop method also removes the data from the list, but one thing, it takes the index value as an optional value. Takes index value as an optional value. Okay, so if you don't provide the index, generally it will remove the data from the end of the list always. It will, yeah, that's true there. Okay, it will always remove the data from the last if you don't provide any index. Okay, one more interesting thing is remove does not return any value, but pop will return the value after removing. Okay, it will return the object after removing actually. Like example I was saying, okay, it will return the object, meaning in this case, in this example, like if we have a 60 and hello actually at the end, so it will return the object called hello now. In this example, it will return the object called hello, or as present example I can say it will return 60, meaning that last object will be popped, and it will also return to you, so that if you want you can store it and you can display that, okay, so and so element has been popped from that particular list. So that way, couple of differences, like remove takes the object directly, like which element to be deleted, but pop will take the index. So if you wanted to delete based on the index, you can use pop, or if you simply wanted to delete the last element every time, then always you can use pop method now. So this is the usage of pop method. and the remove method. So we have x dot pop here now, and if I just say that, you see that it prints me hello. When I did x dot remove, nothing was printed, right? But here when I say x dot pop, it prints me hello, and also when I print x, it shows me that hello is not present in the list anymore now. Okay, so that way it has been popped, the last item from that particular thing, and also when I say pop, it returns me that hello as well. Not only that, I can use the same method called pop and pass the index as well. Like I wanted to delete the element at the second index, so 30 will be deleted. Now when I print x, it's printing me 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, and 30 got been deleted. So that way I can make use of this pop method to delete the particular element from that list now, given list. So that way I can use this pop method here now. Okay, so this is the pop method. Then we also have couple of methods like count method and index method. Okay, so we do have methods like count, which will actually takes the object and returns the number of times that object has been repeated. So example, you can say that x dot count 10. So in this case, it will return me 1 because one count has been 10 has been repeated only for one time. So that way you can easily count it. How to remove more than one element? Then you have to write a logic for that, Abhishek. Like you need to put it in a loop, and then you can ask user to enter the element to remove and call the remove method with that object. And again, you can remove one more element with that object. But there is no direct method. If you're thinking like there will be any direct method to remove, yeah, more than one element in the sense you wanted to remove all the elements. You wanted to remove all the elements. There is a method. Okay, then you have to use loop, guys. Okay, you can. There is no method to remove two, three things at the same time. But I forgot to tell you there is one more method. Okay, which is called clear method, which will remove all elements from the list. Okay, there is a clear method. X dot clear will remove all the methods. Now when I print x now, it will print me an empty list. It will print me an empty list. But as Abhishek wanted to know like how to remove more than one element from a list, then you have to use this in a loop, so that you can call this remove method the number of times you wanted to remove the element from the list now. That way you can call this remove method here. I hope it's okay, Abhishek. And let me check here that anybody having any question regarding this. I'll show you, Abhishek, how to do that as well. But let me see here, anybody having any question regarding inserting and removing the data? Anybody having any question regarding inserting and removing the data? Okay, thank you, Rajshekhar. Thank you, Nitin. Yeah, thank you, Prashanti. Okay, so thank you everyone that it's okay, like everybody understood how to add the data and how to remove the data from the list. Okay, next thing I would like to talk about like count method and index method. Sixth method, I would like to talk about the count method, which will actually returns you the number of things. Like for example, I told you like x dot count 10, it will return you 1 because the one count 10 has been repeated only for one time. Okay, sir, in insert if we don't mention the index and only specify the object, will it work? No, both is required. Both is required. You will get error if you specify only object. Okay, that's what like was good question from Aditi. Like Aditi, if I say x dot insert here, see always we should check that in the, I'll just use this scroll down. Okay, so we all need to always need to check that because such kind of things will happen. Insert, okay, and if I just provided the value but not the index, then obviously I will be getting an error saying that insert takes exactly two arguments. Okay, insert take exactly two arguments and one has been given now. So that's true, Satyam. Then we have to use append, but one thing, append will be added always at the end. So that's what the makes sense, right? Insert means inserting at the particular place, so index is compulsory needed. But whenever you wanted to add, it's only the object, not at the index. So we will use append there, and we are sure that it will be added to the end of the list. Yeah, thank you, Satyam. Okay, thank you, Aditi. So then we can use this append method and all. Perfect. So any other questions, please let me know. So meantime, I will show you that what is this count method will work. Now when I say x dot count, okay, and I wanted to count 10 here now, it says that it has been repeated only for one time. There is no multiple 10. But when I say x dot append and say I want to append 10 again, now this time when I say x dot count 10, then it will tell that there are two elements now count. So it's a print 10. So there can be duplicate elements, right? There's nothing wrong having duplicate elements in list. Now when I say x dot count, it returns me 10 here. It returns me 10 here. So we got 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, and then we got 10. So 10 has been repeated for two times. The next method, what we have here is the index method. The next method we have here is the index method. The seventh method we'll be discussing is the index method. So index method actually, okay, returns you the index of that given element. A quite useful method, right? If you wanted to know the index of 20, then it will simply return you the index of 20. Okay, let's go here and check that what it will do now. So when I say x dot index, okay, it will return me the index of that particular element. As we know that we use very frequently in slicing, that I need to know the index of that 40, and from there I wanted to print it. So that always perfectly fine. I can just say index of 40, it will return you that what is exactly the index here. So here you'll take one parameter, like here you take one parameter like object, and here also you will take the parameter like object. So you'll provide the object now so that it will return you the count value and the index value. How to insert more than one object? Okay, then definitely you have, like, generally if you wanted to insert more than one object, but at the same time, okay, like you can insert as a list, Nagaraja. So you have a method called extend method. You have a method called extend method. So you can use this extend method where you can insert more than one object, like as a list you can extend. So that can be useful. Instead of insert and append, we can use this extend method for adding more than one object. Example, suppose you have a list, so it will take iteratable object, guys. It will take iteratable object and it will append to the list, whether it can be a string or whether it can be a list or something. It will take it and append to the end of the list. Okay, so that's what it will do. Example, if you have if you say x dot append now, x dot extend, sorry, x dot extend, and you wanted to say that more than one object you wanted to extend now, like I wanted to insert one and hello, then it's perfectly fine. It will be extended to the end of the list. Okay, that particular way. Yeah, what about 10? I didn't get you, Venkat, like which 10 you're talking about, but that way you can extend it to the things now. So when I say x dot extend, and if I just give here call hello, you'll see that individually hello gets extended now. When I print x now, you see HELLO has been extended to that particular. So that way I'm adding more than one element, more than one object generally. Like if you wanted to extend, okay, extend a list like 1 comma hello, this time hello will be added separately. Okay, hello will be added separately. Okay, so that way I can use square brackets and I can tell them. Now when I press enter, you can see here that one and hello has been added to that particular thing. Yeah, index will return always the first occurrence, guys. So when I say x dot index, it will always return the first occurrence. Remember, everywhere, not only in Python, everywhere it will return the first index only, not about the last one. So if you wanted to count the last one, you have to loop this for next time. Generally it will always return the first occurrence, guys. If you wanted to find the next one and all, always you have to loop it. So let me just wait here and see that is that clear for all these methods. Any doubt in any of the method? So 8 methods we have discussed till now, okay, and very frequently used methods, guys. because list is one of the very frequently used data structure in Python, like arrays in other languages. So it's a very flexible kind of data type. Yeah, I will repeat extend once again. Can we check one element of list to another list method? Satyam, any example? If else not present in list and we use remove. Yeah, Snehal, you wanted to write a program for that, right? So please tell me like the complete question so that we can implement that. Anyhow, we're going to see some example programs on these methods. Okay, but if you wanted to see something from your side, let us try for that as well. Yeah, that way I can easily do that, right? In method is always available. We already talked about this membership operators like it works. It works. It works in the list as well, Satyam. So all these operators like membership operators and all other operators do work with list as well. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you that it works now. Now I can check is there 10 in okay X. It returns yes, true. Okay, you need to do like this, right? Not as a list case, not in the square brackets because it is not a list. It's an integer. It's an integer. Okay. Now, if I wanted to check h, you should do like this. H in x, it says yes, it's present. Now, when I say that z in x, it will say no. Oh, sorry, I use z here. Z in x will be printing that no, false, it is not present. I can say 999 in x, it will say no, false, it's not present. So that way you can use this in operator and you can check that whether the element is present in that list or not. Okay, but remember, if you insert it as a list, then you can check as a list. Like for example, you say append, and in append you can also append a list as well directly. You can append a list as well. Like for example, you wanted to append a list called 1 comma 2 comma 3. That's perfectly okay. When I say x, it appended a list at the end. Now you can check, is 1 comma 2 comma 3 is in this list? Yes, it says true. Yes, it's present. Now I can use square brackets to check whether it is present or not. So I have to use the element here, whether you're checking an integer element, because list can contain integer element, list can contain string element, list can contain another list, list can contain the things. So how to append single element of list? No, now this time it will not work. 1 comma 2 in x will not work. Okay, it says that 1 comma false, that it's returning you as a tuple. It's returning as a tuple and saying that no, it's not present. Okay, 1 is present but 2 is not present. So it will be checking like, okay, elements not the way. So it's checking both the way and saying that 1 is present but 2 is not present. False. Okay. So in index, if possible, duplicate objects. Yes, Nagaraja. That's what we talked about. Like how to append single element of list to another list. You can use for loop, Satyam, and you can pick an element from that list and you can append to that another list actually. Okay, and index always returns the first occurrence, Nagaraja. If there are duplicate elements, then you have to loop again. See, it depends on the user requirement, like, but basically it will return the first occurrence of that. Okay, let me show you. And as someone asked me to extend once again, I will explain extends once again now. So extend will take any iteratable object, guys. And when I say x dot extend, one as a list or as a tuple or as a string here, it will be added to the elements at the end of the list, but it will be added the multiple elements at the same time. Because there was a question like, can we add multiple elements in the list? Yes, at a time we can add multiple elements in a list. We can simply use this particular way and give these elements, it will extend automatically at the end of the list. It will extend automatically at the end of the list. How to convert single element to list? You you wanted to convert single element to list. Okay, so then basically you have eval function, like if you are accepting from the list, so then it must be given as a square bracket, Satyam. Like you have 10, you want to convert this into a list. Okay, you have 10 now. You have x is equal to 10. But generally you require square brackets if you wanted to convert that integer to list or something. Or better way is you extend them or you insert them, that automatically converts into list, Satyam. Okay, that's one way. But if you're thinking like list method will do, no. List method will not do that. List method takes an iteratable object, guys, not 10. If I give 10 here, it will not get converted, you will get an error. Int object is not iteratable. The single element you cannot convert directly into a list anyway, okay, but you can append them or you can insert them. That way you can create a list. Like for example, you can say create an empty list and say x dot append 10. That way I can convert the single element into a list now. Now you can see that 10 has been appended. If this is your question. Okay. So good to see a lot of questions coming from Satyam. So any other question regarding these methods, guys, please let me know so that I can teach you some more methods and then we'll go for some examples. Till now, is everything okay with all these methods? Very useful methods. It uses to create convert any iteratable to list, guys. It is used to create any iteratable to a list, like x of list of some iteratable like a range. Okay, and I can say that our string hello. That way it will create me a list out of it. So give any iteratable object that will give you a list of it. Can we add a particular index using extend or it adds at the end only? It will always add at the end only, Anjali. There is no way that it does not take two parameters. So we cannot use extend to insert at the beginning or somewhere. But you can do that with insert, right? You can do that with insert, but it will not add individual element. Okay, it will add the whole element. That's the difference between insert, append, and extend. Extend will add the iteratable object as a single element in the list, but insert and extend will directly add that particular object. Okay, directly add that particular object. So good to see that question, Anjali. Any other questions, guys, regarding methods from the list class? Oh, I'll do that, Shikawat. Okay, yeah, thank you, Satyam. Let me check with others as well. All these 8 methods are clear, guys. How to use append, how to use insert, how to use remove, how to use pop. Okay, clear method, count method, index method, extend method, and all. I do agree that count and index and everything, generally index method and all, they work for first occurrence, guys. This is how for every language that it will work for the first occurrence only. Okay, let me check a few more methods now. Let me check for few more methods. Like you do have a method like reverse. Okay, let me go for a couple of more methods. We do have a method called reverse. Okay, or before going for reverse, like we also have a method like copy, guys. So extend add objects at the last place. Yes, Nagaraja. Extend will add objects at the end. Okay, yeah. So number 8. So that's fine. So now we have another method like copy method, which will copy one list into another list actually. It will copy one list with another list. Like you wanted to copy one list into another list, that is one more way, like extending, you can copy a list from another list now. Okay, quite useful method. Like I want to copy this x now into y. I can say y dot copy. Y dot copy. Okay, sorry, y is equal to x dot copy. y is equal to x dot copy. So that way what happens, everything from x gets copied in y. So y will also contains hello now. Yeah, it's like not concatenating. Yeah, it's like concatenating, Aditi, extend. But it's not concatenating as it is the object. It's adding all the elements at the end of the object. That's the beauty of extend method. It will add all the elements at the end of the list now. And copy method will copy one list to another list. Copy method. It's anything, like I'm just showing you that it's a list and contains one and hello. One is the data, Satyam here. It's not required one. Okay, it's just a data here and hello is any data. No, it's not concatenating, guys. Copy is actually copying the complete content into another content, Aditi. Okay, not added to another list. Copy. It's copying one thing to another thing, actually. Okay, you already have a list and you want to generate another list of it, like a cloning. Okay, clone. You are creating another list, another copy of your list, actually. It's not like copy one list into another list. That way we use extend, actually. Yeah, that's true. That way we will add extend from list to another list, but copy will generally copy from one list to another list, actually. Okay, so that way you can make use of copy method here. So you can say here, like for example, you can say y is equal to x dot copy. So everything from x gets copied in y as well. Is it possible to a particular index of another list? Rajshekhar, sorry, I didn't get you. Like, is it possible to a particular index of another list to copy? Copy will always copy everything, guys. Okay, if you want to copy few elements, then you have to do slicing, not copy. Got my point, Rajshekhar? Like if you want to copy from so and so index to so and so index, then use slicing, not copy. Yeah, thank you, Rajshekhar, for your question. So copy will copy everything from that list. Copy will copy everything from that list now. Now we have methods like okay, reverse method, which will reverse your list now. Like for example, in this case, when I use x dot reverse, the list gets reversed completely. The reversed list will get reversed completely now. Now you see x dot reverse, and you can see here that it gets reversed completely now. OLLEH. Reverse cannot be used for a single object. Yeah, these are all methods for the list, guys. These are the methods from the list, so it cannot be used for any other object, Aditi. And also, reverse method will reverse every element. Yeah, also it works definitely, Satyam. Also it works, but it will return, Satyam. It will not add to the same list. Okay, but this way it will add to the same list. It will reverse and add to the same list. So that's why it can reverse directly. Right? Okay, good. So these are the methods we have from list. And finally, let's go with our 11th method now. Let's go with our 11th method called sort method. See, this all these functions are predefined. Okay, and this is how they work. Like if you wanted to work them in our way, then you have to write a logic for that. Can we reverse a list inside another list? Yes, you can use a for loop and say that you go inside the for loop and say only that reverse, pick up that one and reverse that list. Can possible, Rajshekhar. You can reverse that a list from another list, but not directly. Everything get reversed because insert that list is also treated as another element in that. That's it. So you cannot do that way directly, but you can write the logic for everything. Okay, now let me talk about sort method in detail. Sort method takes two parameter, key value which is none. Okay, and okay, and we say reverse is equal to false. Okay, this is the sort method we'll generally use for sorting the thing. So when I say x dot sort, sort. Okay, sorry. So you can see here it has two methods now, key method and the reverse method. Key method and the reverse method. Now you can see that when I don't use anything because both are default value, it simply reverse that. When I say X, it sort me E-H-L-L-O. So E come first, then H, then L, then L, then O now. Meaning, Vishwajit, you can always use loop to use that for multiple times. That's what I mean to say. If you wanted that to be repeated, like you wanted to find the index repeatedly, then use loop. You wanted to keep appending the element, keep using loop. Okay, if you wanted to insert the element, continue, keep inserting elements, use loop. That's what I mean to say. Sorted is a function, Satyam, but sort is a method from the list. It will completely sort to the same list. But sorted will return you the list. Okay, that's the difference. Sorted is a function, okay, and it returns you. But sort is a method which to in place, and that particular list will get sorted automatically. So if you're dealing with list, then use sort method. If you're dealing with string and other things, then you can use sorted function. So sorted is a function and sort is a method here. Okay, now I wanted to sort them in reverse order. Then you can say that, okay, sort reverse is equal to true. Reverse is equal to true. Then you will see that it will sort them in reverse order now. O first, then L, then L, then H, then E. Sort not possible in list, string and integer. It is possible. Okay, for example, let's say you have x is equal to, you got 10, you got something like, okay, let me take randomly, okay, 10 and then 40, okay, then hello, and let's say x dot sort. Now it's comparing, yeah, that's true, Nagaraj. A good question. So now it's using this less. Then we know that when we have two different instances, then string and integer does not support for that. So sort generally works, either it should be similar type, like for homogeneous list only. It will not work for heterogeneous list unless it is comparing some list, and because we know less than must have a same data type, less than, greater than, and all must have a same data type. So that way it cannot compare and it cannot do for that. So good question from Nagaraja, that sort not possible when it list contains integer and a string. Okay, we will get an error because implicitly it uses this less than operator for comparing and then sorting it. Okay, so based on this, based on all these methods, can we go for a couple of questions now? Based on all these methods, can we go for a couple of questions? Okay, that's good, right? Let's revise everything with the help of some programs. So let me just go here and get you some programs. So I'll go to my lab. Okay. Okay, so here is our first lab now. You can just do this. It's simple. What you do is you have to write a Python program to ask user to enter the range and create a list of squares till that range. Okay, like for example, you will ask user to enter the range for 10, and you have to create a list of squares like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 up to that range, like 10 elements. You have to create a square of those elements from 1 to 10. Range is 10, so 1 to 10 you have to create the list of squares. Let's see who will complete this program, and once say done, it gets completed. Oh, that's good. Nitin has done. Okay. And let me also check with others that giving a range and you're getting the list of squares like this. Thank you, Nitin. And let me check with others as well. Okay, that's looking good, Satyam. Okay, that's looking good. Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Aditi. It's done with from Aditi side as well. And Shabuddin, did you follow Shikawat? Okay, so let me show here how to write this program. Okay, so we'll go to our this thing. Let me just open a script. Yeah, looking good, Kudal. That's perfectly fine. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Now what I will do is I'll accept that range from user. Let's say n is equal to int of input. Okay, input, and I say enter range or enter limit, whatever you wanted to say. Enter range, so user will enter the range now. Okay, next thing what I will do now is I just wanted to create an empty list now. Let's say L is equal to an empty list where I'm going to add all the data. I'll say that for every I value in the range of till that range, okay, from 1 to till that range, so you must use n plus 1 here. You all know that a range will return you from that, so n comma n plus 1. Then you wanted to find, you can simply say L dot append method here to append the list of squares, and I can say I multiply with I. That's all, guys. I multiply with I, and comes out and print this list, and it gets printed the list with all the elements here. Yeah, that's definitely Shikar, but it's very easy to follow up. Okay, so I'll definitely do that. Okay, when I run this code now, enter the range as 10, and you can see that it's getting the exactly same as we expected. Okay, it's printing me all the list of squares 1, comma 4, comma 9, comma 16, comma 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Okay, so it's perfectly getting me the list of this particular things. Okay. So I hope it will be okay. And let us see some more questions, some more things now. And most probably, I would like to introduce you one more topic now so that I can solve this kind of problems very easily actually. So let me introduce you one more concept here. The second concept I was talking for today. The second concept I would like to introduce now, okay, is actually uh, the next thing. But before I go, as Shikawat requested to just give a quick overview of all these methods. Okay, let me just give a quick overview for all the methods we discussed, guys. Okay, then I'll go for that topic, and then I can solve those problems very easily with that. Yes, Ubul, I'm doing now. Okay, so I'll just quickly review what we have discussed in this all Okay, so actually we started discussing about methods from the list class. Okay, methods from the list class. So method list class has these methods. Like first we talked about append method. What append method will do is it will add the object at the end of the list. Just now we have used in our example that a very useful method I told you. Like you created an empty list and you have appended each element at the end of the list. Okay, it will add each element to the end of the list. So L dot append will add the elements to the end of the list. So one of the very useful method from the list class. Then we have insert method. which will insert the element at the particular index. So if you wanted to add the element at second place, then you have an insert method where you can say 2 comma 999 will be added that particular object to that particular index. Then we have remove method, which will remove that object from that list. So append will add to the end, insert will add the element to the proper place, and remove method will remove that object from that list. But you wanted to remove last element or based on index, we can use pop method. We can use pop method to remove that particular element from the list. Like you remember last time we did one example that deleting of duplicate elements. Yes, remove can be used to any number of elements. Yes, meaning you can use one element at a time, Aditi, one element at a time, but it can be used for multiple times to remove that element. Pop will take one element, like append. All these methods work for a particular one time, one object at a time. That's what I'm talking about loop. Like in this case, you wanted to add 10 elements, append 10 elements. You added a loop and you call this append method inside the loop. That's what I was talking about. Like always, you can use loop if you wanted to repeat that time. But all these methods will append or remove or pop one element at a time. If you wanted to use them for number of times, then always you have to use loop so that the method can be called frequently. Okay. I hope Nagaraja, you also understood like what is I mean by loop here. That generally we can use loop for repeating those methods for number of times. Okay. So pop method will remove that index from that particular index, but if you don't mention, it will remove that last element. It will remove that last element. And clear method will remove all the elements and gives you an empty list. Okay. Count method will count how many times that object has been repeated. That's what the count method will do. And index method will return you the index of that element. Index method will return you the index of that element, and extend method will add iteratable at the end, like it can be a list or it can be a string, whatever, it will be added to the end of the list. Okay, it will be added to the end of the list. Copy method will copy that one list into another list. Reverse method will reverse the complete list. And sort function will actually sort, okay, based on the alphabetical order. But if we say reverse is equal to false, it will sort in the reverse order. Extend like concatenate, yes, like concatenation. That's true, Shikawat. Extend works like a concatenation. It will concatenate every element to that list particularly. Okay, I hope Ubul and Shikawat, you all got this methods. We have discussed 11 methods now. Okay, and we're going to go for the next topic. Okay, before I go for the next topic, let me show you. Let me just give you one more example and then we'll go for the next topic. I hope you remember that we did this example. Yeah, welcome Shikawat. Thank you, Ubul. You can take this as an homework, guys. I hope this is also from our assignment. You can take this as an homework. Write a Python program to store perfect numbers from 1 to 10,000 in a list and print it. Can you take this as an homework, guys? So this is a description. We know that 6 is a perfect number because it takes when you just get this number and factors of this number, and adding the factors will get you the same number. Like factors of 6 is 1, 2, 3, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 will give you 6. If it is mapping, then you append to the list now. So that way you can print all the perfect numbers from 1 to 10,000. So take this as an homework. If you want, we'll do it in the next session, but it's an interesting problem. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Satyam. Thank you, Ubul. Let me check with others as well. Is this question okay? Yeah. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Nitesh. Yeah. Abhishek, Nitin, Saif, Vishwajit, Vamshi. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Prashanti. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you, Rajshekhar. So this is from list now, right? So you can just, these are the elements you'll get at the end. You need to print the output like this actually. Okay. Let's check, do we have any other lab now? Okay, I wanted to, the same program, I wanted to change little bit. Okay, I wanted to change little bit here. Like for example, you enter the list of words. Instead of this question, I wanted to change little bit now. Yeah, Shikawat, I will do that as you say. So what you can do now, can you read a list of words and sort them based on length? Can you read the list of words and sort them? First you sort them alphabetically, then try to sort them based on length. Yeah, thank you, Kudal. I hope we did this before. Oh, we did this before, sorting based on length. Okay. Okay, that's looking perfect. You can try that as well. But now let me go for next 10-15 minutes. I'll introduce you one more topic now. So the next topic I was talking about here, the next topic I would like to introduce now is called list comprehension, guys. The next interesting topic, the next important and interesting topic here called list comprehension. So let's talk about what is this list comprehension actually. Okay, basically, the syntax of the list comprehension is like this. The syntax of the list comprehension is like this. Okay, it will return you a list actually. You can use in a square brackets. You can use in a square brackets, and it says that L is equal to. Inside that you can write expression to be evaluated for every item in collection, for every item in collection. Meaning that instead of 3-4 lines of code, you can write in a single line of code and you can use this list comprehension, one of the very important topic, guys. One of the very important topic because we use them very frequently in a program again. Because you all know that Python is very popular for single liner code. So this way you can use this single line of code for just creating a list out of it and you can do that. Like in our previous example, I did this using a for loop, right? I did this using for loop. I can do this in one line, guys. I can do this in one line, no need for all these things. I can simply write L is equal to square bracket. I can say I multiply by I for every I element in the range of 1 comma n plus 1. I hope it's self understandable, but let me tell you what is happening here now. So this is how we write a list comprehension. So whenever you write, see the square brackets, don't get confused. It's a list comprehension, where comprehension means a compact way of writing the programs in list. A compact way of writing programs in the list. So I can say for every I value in the range of 1 comma n plus 1. So it will go here, execute the for loop and say that it will pick first element and it will multiply this and append to the list automatically. So you don't have to use append method and all. It will add automatically to the end of the list. Now output will be same, guys. Output will be same as you seen before. So when I run this code and say range as 10, you will get the same output. You see the previous output and this output will be same. The only thing is I did this in one line. Sometimes it is possible that you can write 10-12 lines of code in one line using list comprehension. So that's why it is so interesting and so beautiful to write the list comprehension. So any questions regarding list comprehension? Any question regarding list comprehension? I would like to add one more thing here, that list comprehension, you can also use filter in list comprehension, guys. After this actually, okay, you can use filter as well. Filter. In the sense, you can say if, okay, something true, if the condition, if the condition, this is called filtering actually. This is called filtering. Thank you, Vishwajit, that there is no question, but let me show you with filtering as well. Again, I can do one. I can pick up one example actually. Let me just check for that. Okay, I can just do one simple example to make you understand this filtering as well. So let me try to get that first. Hmm. I'll show you guys. I'll show you one example on the filter. I'm just looking for that example so that I can pick that example for you. Yeah, this is a question, guys. Okay, given list, the movie starts with D. Very simple question. Given a list, okay, list the movie starts with D. So I have the movie's name here. Okay, I'll paste the movie's name to all of you so that you can just write this program. Okay, suppose you have these movies now. I'm not taking anything from user. I just have this movie's name. Okay, just pick up some movies names here. Not all, but we have few movies name here. What you need to do is you need to write a program so that you will get only the movies which starts with D now. So from this given movie's name, I just wanted to print the movies which starts with D. This is called filtering actually. This is called filtering. So filtering means like in my previous example as well. Now I wanted to have like only the numbers which are even. Okay, not the odd numbers. So I can say that if I is modulus, sorry, I modulus 2 is equal to 0, then only you add them. So that way it will have only the numbers which are even actually. For even numbers, it will create me a list. Now I will give 100, so it will only find the squares of even numbers like 2, 4, okay, for 6 and all. So that way it will find the square of for only even numbers, not all the numbers. That is generally called filtering actually, meaning that it will go for filter, okay, it will not add everything now, okay, only for even numbers. So you can use a condition here, and based on the condition only you can add that particular element. Based on the condition only you can add that particular element. Now you can imagine that without list comprehension this is going to be at least 5 6 lines of code, but now I did in one line of code. Yeah, along with the loop, but it comes at the end. That's what I shown you in the syntax, guys. That's what I shown you in the syntax, that first the expression. That's why it will take time to use list comprehension, guys. Okay, so all the problems you did, try to use that with list comprehension, but make sure that list comprehension actually returns you a list. Okay, don't go for yeah, first execute, no, first execute for loop, yeah, then if condition, then the expression, guys. Here the order is very important, as Satyam said. Okay, yeah, definitely. That's what number of lines will be reduced. That's what this Python is actually known for. So remember, always the list for loop will execute, second filtering will execute, and third expression will execute. And it will generally returns you the list, guys. That is very important. Use list comprehension only when you want a list as an output. Use list comprehension only you want list as an output. Then only use this list comprehension. Okay, understood everyone? So please do this. I am pasting the movie names now. Okay, I'll paste the movie names here. Please try to get me the movies which starts with D. So I have few movies names here. Okay, and you just wanted to. Oh, I just sent to Aditi, so I have to send to everyone. Okay, so I have sent to everyone now. Then please take this list and write a program where you print only the movies which is starting with D now. Sorry, Kudal, I didn't get your question. How it is able to know type of L? Because at first iteration value is integer. In which case you are talking about, Kudal? Which program you are talking about, so that I can give you justification. List can contain heterogeneous data element, Kudal. So it tells you type is list only, but list can contain integer, can contain string, can contain float. But type is list only. Type of L will tell you list, not integer in this case. Okay. Yeah, very good. Ubul has sent us the code, and let me check with others as well. He read in only 2 lines. That's good. Okay, Ubul. That's what the things you need to learn about Python. That how to write the code in just few lines or in single line. That's what list comprehension will be quite useful. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So let me check with others as well. Like, have you done with that? So I'll just have movies now. Okay, I have copied the movie names. I just wanted to print the movie starting with D. So I can print, right, instead of storing it. That will be always good. So that's what Ubul did. So let's do that same way. So how we will do now? For every movie, you can use any variable. For every movie, for every movie, in movies, in movies, okay, in movies, filter if instead of equals, you know that we have a method like start with, okay, d start with d. And if you have this lowercase, then you can convert that into lowercase as well. Okay, movies dot lower dot starts with d. So that way, if you have any movie starting with a small d also, it gets printed. It gets printed. Okay. So I'll run this code now and see here it prints me all the movies starting with D. So it starts with, okay, and let's run again. It will ask me for save. It returns me empty list, but why it's returning me empty list? I pick up the movies and in the movie and movies dot lowercase. Oh, I'm converting lowercase here. Should not be the lowercase here. Okay, first I'll show you with this one. You can convert while picking up as well. Okay, you can convert while picking as well, but that will convert into lowercase and then start with capital D. Now you see it's printing me all the way. The movie starting with D now. Okay, that's perfectly okay. See, this is a movie is a variable name, guys. I can also write I if you're getting confused. I will write I if you're getting confused. From movies, I'm copying in I and then I'm saying that each movie you check which starts with D and then append to the list now. So you see, so like you do this very frequently, right? Checking the movie starting with so and so letter. I did is this in one line of code. Just try for small letters as well. You can just use I dot over and you can say that starts with D and it will print it. No, you cannot do that way. You cannot do that way, capital or small. Okay, because it takes only one parameter. But you can do something like lower. Okay, you can do something like lower. You can, while picking itself, you can say that lower, convert into lower. Oh, I can say that I think I'm looking for upper, right? So I can use I dot upper if it is lower as well. I can convert into upper. I dot upper starts with D. So if any name starting with small letter, I can convert into uppercase and check for that. So it will say that, okay, oh, dot is missing here. Okay, I'll remove this. Now it will work. Instead of lower, I'll make upper. So see, even Dangal is getting printed now with small letters. So that will work for small as well as capital. No, it will not work, guys. Because starts with will only take one parameter. There are many ways, Ubul. For this particularly list related programs, list comprehension is one of the way. But generally, there are many ways where you can reduce the line of the code. Okay, Python is actually popular for that. So you have a lot of ways where you can reduce the code in short way. So list comprehension is one of the way where you have such kind of programs where you're dealing with list, you can reduce it to some less number of codes. So this is all about from list and tuple, guys. We spent 3-4 sessions, I hope, on list and tuple. We started from creating list with tuple and then tuple and all. We talk about their methods. We also know that tuple has only 2 methods like count and index. Okay, you can check for that. And we seen list comprehension, one of the very important topic from list concept. Yeah, list will not change. I'm just checking that, okay, you convert to uppercase and check with starting or not. I'm not storing it in the list bag. Got the point, Satyam? It's picked as it is. See, if I do upper here now, then it will get converted into uppercase. You wanted to change into upper, then use upper here while adding. Got my point? Now it will show you that it gets converted to uppercase. I don't want to change that. That is my not intention, but you see everything got changed in uppercase now. Or if you only wanted to change the first letter, you know that we have capitalized. That's what these methods are very important, guys. That way, that if it is lower, everything gets start with capital now. String object has no attribute. I think the spelling mistake. Yeah, capitalize. Okay, and I run this code now, and you see that it converted into capital letters. So it's up to you. Like we all know that we have all these methods. That's what the knowledge is. All this method knowledge is very important. Well, I cannot say in one word like what are the other ways. Okay, you have to like practice. Then only it comes how to reduce the program into number of lines. There is nothing like proper names. Okay, like list comprehension, but there are other ways you can reduce the code in the less line code, but they don't have any name to that. Okay, fine. So last homework for all of you. Okay, this is one homework I have told you to find a couple of homeworks I have given you. The first homework I told you to find the perfect numbers. Okay, the second thing I told you to check for the sort them based on the length, accept the words from user and sort based on the length. And second thing is yes, couple of like this. Write a Python code that takes a list of words and integer in n and print the list of words that are longer than n. Try to do this as well. It's interesting one. Okay, take this all screenshot, guys, and possibly put in our WhatsApp group so that can do homework, and you can paste means you can discuss in our group as well about these homeworks generally. That will be good because it's for the current topic. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ubul. So let's see that next lab. Anyhow, this we can do later. Take another homework, like you have to, okay. This is another homework, guys. Generate a list of prime numbers using list comprehension. This is using list comprehension, you have to do it. Try to do all the programs which generates the list, even the last program, try to do with list comprehension. Okay, so that's the thing. Like if you try with list comprehension, then you will get more confident about list comprehension, because basically list comprehension needs more practice. List comprehension needs more practice, guys. So I hope it's everything good for today. Let me check with Shikawat, as he was asking like to discuss something at the end. And if you have any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll take a leave for today. We'll see you tomorrow with next concept. So we're done with list now. It's a big topic, so that's why we took little time. We spend more time understanding list and all.